Hey, what's up guys, it's Fish here and welcome back to some more Rise of Mordor action. Now today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Recently I've been doing a lot of these battles showing off all these units and kind of creating scenarios against the AI. However, today I'm going to be doing a more competitive 1 vs 1 battle against Indy Pride. I felt like doing, more competitive battles, showing you guys what these units can do when they're actually both put in the hands of real people. Because, it's hard to kind of, tell how good these units are and how epic the situations can get when it's just fighting against the AI. So today we have a awesome 1 vs 1 battle. I am playing as the men of Dale and Indy Pride is playing as the men of Gondor. And we are playing in this pretty cool swampy area, so it's going to create some interesting scenarios moving across the river and other stuff like that. And we're really going to kind of try and push the boundaries of our unit. So what we'll do is run through the army comps really quickly and then we'll jump straight into the battle. If you want to skip this and just go straight to the battle, there should be a skip to battle button in the description down below. So let's start off with my army, the men of Dale. So on my front line I am bringing 2 units. I'm going to have to hover over them because I do not know the names of the units. So I've got 2 units of the spear militia on my front line. I'm going to be using these guys as kind of just a line that, one, stop Indy Pride from charging my archer line with his horses, but also to kind of try and soak up some of his own arrows as well. So these guys are acting as like an anti-cavalry shield for my archers, as well as a kind of, just a cannon fodder line as well. Then as we move back, we have a couple units of these bardings. Dale are renowned for their archery, so that's why I'm going to try in this battle to kind of keep the skirmish fight going for as long as possible. So we have got 2 units of bardings, and again, these bardings are actually really good in melee combat as well. So even if they do get caught up in the melee after they've used up all their ammunition, they're still going to be really good. Then we have some Vinland or Yard Patrol. These guys are from a different region of Dale. I think Indy Pride was actually telling me that these guys have like elven influences on a lot of their armor and stuff, which was really cool. If you guys want to tell me more about that in the comments, do feel free to. But these guys make up the rest of my archer force. They are pretty decent in melee, so that's why I brought them. Then behind that I have a line of 3 of these Vinland guards. These guys are my top tier infantry, and I can definitely see what he was talking about when he said that these guys have elven influences on their armor. This armor definitely does look very elven to a T, pretty much. Very nice. So these are my elite infantry lines. I'm going to have 3 of these guys on my front line. Then my backup line is going to be made up of these Dalian swordsmen. Again, a very sturdy infantry line, can definitely hold their own. Then as we move back, my cavalry force, I have 4 units of these Ravanian regions. I think that's how you pronounce them. But they are so good. This cavalry unit is just amazing. We're actually going to pause it. Oh, let's stick it on slow-mo for now whilst the armies get a little bit closer. But yeah, this cavalry unit is fucking amazing. It really is. We definitely see that in the battle. I also have a unit of these merchant escorts, which is my melee cavalry, whereas the other cavalry is my shock cavalry. I also have 4 units of these Lake Town Guard. They are so fast in the battle. Like, they are crazy fast. They can get to these cavalry engagements off on the wing, like, almost immediately. It's crazy, so we'll definitely see that. And I think, finally, over on this left flank, I have a couple more units of these Lake Town Guard. And that's it for my army. Then if we look at Indy Pride's army as it epically marches forward, we can see that on his front line he has a unit of Fountain Guard leading the way. They do look glorious. Obviously an expensive unit, but very good nonetheless. Then behind that he has a set of... How many units? He has 2 units of Gondor archers, which again looks so nice. I love their armor. It's just so iconic from the movies, and they really have nailed these guys down to a T, I think, definitely, with the armor. Then he has 2 units of these Aphelion Rangers, so I actually do have a missile advantage. I believe I have 5 archers, and he only has 4, so that's good to note. He also has on his front line some Citadel Guard, and this is actually kind of smart for him to do. Putting these really heavily armored units on the front line is, if I do decide to shoot these guys, they're going to kind of absorb a lot of the missile fire, whereas his archers can really just unleash hell. So sticking these Citadel Guard on the front line is really smart by Indy. He also has a unit of Gondor archers on this flank as well, so maybe he does have 5 units of Gondorian archers, and I miscounted. But I definitely still do have the missile advantage just because my archers are better as we are from Dale, whereas obviously his heavy infantry is much better. So on his front line he has a set of 3 units of the sword militia. Behind that he has his 2nd tier infantry. These guys are trained. The Ringlow Vale Men at Arms. I always struggle to pronounce these names, but they do look pretty cool as well, and I love the way how it's kind of depicting a different part of Gondor, where these men come from. Maybe not the wealthy city parts, but you know, the outer villages around. You know, Gondor's a massive place, so there's plenty of different places, and I love how they represent it here. Then we have more of the iconic heavy Gondor sword infantry. These guys are not to be messed with. They are really, really strong, and I am, you know, a little bit scared of these guys, and obviously they look great as they just march forward to battle. Then he has a unit of these axemen on his far right flank. Again, a really good armor-piercing unit, which he's going to have to use pretty effectively. We've got some more ringlow infantry there. Then he has a set of 3 units of these silver swans. Great unit. Now, I've seen a lot of people actually complain about these guys, saying they don't look like the proper Daramroth Swan Knight units. Well, these are just silver swans. They're not I don't think they're the full-on heavily armored ones. So I'm sure we'll see, you know, proper Daramroth's Swan units going forward in the future at some point. I imagine we're going to see some super heavily armored Knights of the Swan for sure going in later releases of the build. So here's a set of them guys. He also has a couple over on his left flank. And then finally, I think in reserve, he has a couple units of some more axemen. And yeah, it's just some more axemen. Obviously, he has his general over here as well. And another set of Gondor cavalry with some more Knights of the Swan. So he actually has a ton of cavalry, which is going to be dangerous for me to deal with. Again, we can see the Gondor cavalry here, looking very, very nice. So I think we are getting closer and closer, and we'll go ahead and click start on this battle. Now, I'm going to obviously do a load of close-ups in this battle, but for now, as the armies get closer and closer, we can just watch it from afar, which I think looks really, really cool, just seeing the 2 armies go. I think it's better if we do this, because you guys can kind of see what's going where, and hopefully this is enjoyable for those of you guys who want more tactic gameplay. I've seen a load of people asking for more tactics on the channel, so hopefully this will be, you know, at least kind of quell your thirst a little bit. Obviously, I'm going to be doing lots of cinematics, that is for sure. So we're going to be pushing up. I want to kind of keep Indy Pride at range for sure. I don't want to be too over aggressive with my archer line because, as I said, I have really, really good missiles coming from Dale, and I want to kind of keep him at range for as long as possible. However, Indy Pride is going to do a really smart thing here and take up kind of shelter in these woods. These woods are going to give him a perfect shelter from any missile fire coming in. So that's why I wanted to really shift up my archer line, get it into range as soon as I could, and just start unleashing. And I also noticed that the unit of Fountain Guard was actually up, a bit further pushed up, and I'm not sure if this was a ploy by Indy Pride to make me waste my ammunition on his Fountain Guard whilst his archers shot my archers, but I was going to take it. I feel like that the archers won't be that influential in the late game, but a unit of Fountain Guard just sitting here holding its line will be very, very influential. And you can already see that the battle is getting underway from Indy Pride shoving his cavalry right round the flanks of my formation. He's going to try and use that extra unit of cavalry he has to try and really, really stretch me. So I'm immediately going to be answering. I want to get my spearmen over here as soon as possible. So that's why you can see that I'm already pushing up some spearmen off into this engagement, and the Lake Town Guard are really, really fast. I'm also going to be using my archers to start hitting his own archers, whittling down the Gondor archers and taking away their HP. Because what I found in this mod is that a lot of the missile forces, they have to kind of whittle away at the enemy HP first before they really start doing damage. So most of the time what you'll see is after the first couple volleys it's shooting an enemy unit, not much will happen. But say after the fourth volley, the numbers will really start to drop as the unit's HP gets lower and lower. You'll definitely start seeing a few more units dropping here as more of my missile fire comes in. But I'm also deciding to shoot a lot of these Fountain Guard which are here. And the nice thing is, there's actually 2 units of these Aphelion Rangers at the back. So all my shots that are going overhead away from these Fountain Guard are actually hitting these Aphelion Archers as well. So or these Aphelion Rangers, I should say. So it's actually going pretty well for me. I'm kind of hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. You can see some arrow fire over there, which is really, really good for me. As well as that, Indy Pride is forming up more of his cavalry around this left flank, and that's really going to be the determining factor, is this cavalry in this battle. We both have pretty good infantry. You can see that my archers are getting torn up a bit, but I am definitely doing damage to the Fountain Guard. All of a sudden, you can see I've trained 4 of my archers on killing that Fountain Guard. I really, really do want to get it down, and I'm also shifting over more of my shock cavalry over to this left flank, and I'm just holding these guys in place for now, as I think I have my Lake Town Guard are very, very fast. They'll be able to get to this engagement pretty quickly before any of Indy Pride's infantry can get there. And we're just going to sit back and enjoy this skirmish phase for now. I'm going to be focusing down the Fountain Guard as much as I can with my Vineland archers. Or these are the Yard Patrol dudes. So I'm just going to be shooting up. Hopefully, these what are these guys? Spear militia? I think they're just called spear militia. Hopefully, these spear militia are just absorbing a lot of the ammunition as my archers are firing away. My bardings are getting focused down, which is smart by Indy Pride for sure, because these guys can definitely do decently in melee combat as well. So whittling these guys down will definitely reduce my melee infantry capabilities. But I mean, they look so good. They really do. The models here, they just take a brutal volley coming in there. They will return it though. Nice. Let loose the arrows, boys. Let loose. Yeah, their bows look great. They really do. So the fight is going to continue, and this is where Indy Pride kind of almost just overextends a little bit, I think, in this engagement, when we're trying to kind of psych each other out with the cavalry. He knows that I am probably going to be losing this melee. Well, I feel at this point I'm going to be losing this missile off. I've been kind of focusing down the Fountain Guard, which you can see. So then Indy Pride does shift a unit of his cavalry of the Knights Swan around this left flank, and I kind of see that it's out of position a bit, so I'm going to try and rush it down and try and capture it, and then this will hopefully force Indy Pride into kind of committing more of his cavalry that he doesn't really want to, because I have these Lake Town Guard immediately here. So I'm going to be using this unit to try and cut off the enemy, and I'm going to be finding them directly. Indy Pride is going to be using this. He's going to realize he's not going to get out, so he's going to try and get the preemptive charge off on my soldiers. He is going to do so. However, my men do turn, and we do get engaged. And this is when everyone just starts shifting their men over. You can see that we are all sending our soldiers over. My entire cavalry force is making their way over here. As we have another charge by the Knights of the Silver Swan. I'm going to be moving off because I really want to engage his general unit, and I'm going to be pushing over here. But just look how fast these Lake Town Guard are getting over to this engagement right now. They are rushing over as I engage his general unit right here, and I'm going to be using this. I'm going to be seeing that that his general unit is engaged right here, and I'm going to be trying to get my Lake Town Guard in here as soon as possible. Because as soon as my Lake Town Guard get here, I have a spear unit here hitting away at his horses, and if I can kill his general, that'll be great news for me. But the Knights of the Silver Swan look great. Look at their shields and their swords. They're such a spectacular looking unit. They really are. So the cavalry fight is underway. And I do see that that Indy Pride is moving off over some swordsmen, which is pretty smart of him. You know, bringing swordsmen when I bring spearmen is obviously going to go pretty well in his favor. So I'm going to be engaging one unit of Lake Town Guard, and then trying to slot up the rest of his engagement, like these swordsmen, with another unit of Lake Town Guard. So these guys right here are just a distraction. I just need them to hold the line for as long as possible. And you can already see that if we go on slow-mo quickly, because obviously a lot is happening right now, but pretty much, you know, a large portion of our forces have shifted over to this engagement on the flanks right now. I luckily do have some of my spearmen here, which I think I really needed. I don't know. I feel like this engagement wasn't going in my favor, even though I have chevrons on my cavalry, which really isn't that great. But with my spearmen there, hopefully that will help me out. Over here, again, you know, I'm not really doing too well against the Knights of the Silver Swan, so they're definitely proving their own. I think this is a fairly even matchup, apart from this one over here, where I must have got a really good charge off or something over on this unit right here. As well as that, if you look at that, Indy Pride just got an absolutely amazing charge off on my Dalian swords. But I think actually I managed to just about form up with my shield wall against these Gondor spear militia. And as they try and pull out, we are cutting down the horses left, right, and center, which is going to be great. Trying to pull out in this game is never good, so you always have to be very careful when you do that. However, the infantry lines are soon going to be engaging very soon. I'm pulling back my entire archer force. Indy Pride is continuing to push around the flank with his soldiers, and his Fountain Guard are actually pretty depleted, so I'm happy with how much damage I've done to them. They're down to 75 men from 160, so I feel like I definitely did a nice amount of damage to that unit for sure. I mean, that's going to weaken them down. This is an expensive unit, so even though you have to bring them, obviously, because they are a unit of Fountain Guard. What is a Gondor army without a unit of Fountain Guard? However, taking that unit down is definitely kind of worth the sacrifice, I think, with my archers, because I still have a decent amount of these Vineland Yard Patrollers left. So overall, it's going pretty well for me at this moment. However, balance of power is slightly in Indy Pride's favor. You can see he has a huge man advantage at the moment. But that is to be kind of evened out once we do actually engage. Because on my front line, I have these Vineland Vineland Guard, which are just such solid infantry. I believe they are in shield wall as well, which is going to give me a pretty good advantage. And at the moment, they're throwing out their little javelins, hopefully trying to reduce the HP of the enemy line as much as they can. I think they have 2 throws each, which is good. I mean, look how great that looks as the Fountain Guard put down their spears. So hopefully that has reduced a bit of the HP of the Citadel Guard as they come in. You can see plenty of javelins as they decide to run in to the main line. As we zoom up and watch this, hold firm as the Citadel Guard come charging in against the Vineland infantry. That looks great, and he's just going to pour in with his entire infantry line, trying to break this as best he can, which is going to be pretty good for me. I'm looking forward to this engagement right here. I feel like these guys are perfectly matched. The whole, oh my god, this advisor needs to shut the fuck up. My infantry line is really well matched, I think, for dealing with the Citadel Guard. So I'm just going to leave them in combat right here and let them kind of do their thing, where I have a lot of these Dalian infantry still remaining, getting ready to do work. I also managed to break upon this unit of Gondor infantry, which is just kind of in time. I've got 2 units of Dalian infantry here making their way over as the Ringlow Vale men-at-arms crash into my Lake Town Guard, which have been doing good work at killing Indy Pride's general. And now with his infantry charging into my spearmen, that was a little bit shaky. They killed a lot of them on that charge. However, I'm going to be doing exactly the same with my Dalian swordsmen, and they're going to be crushing in the back of these swordsmen. So this is definitely a favoured engagement for me, especially if we just look at the sheer numbers right now of the Knights of the Silver Swan, my cavalry and my spearmen. So even though we are getting shot in the back by a unit of Aphelion Rangers, I'm not really too bothered right now. If we look at the rest of the cavalry engagement, you can see I've just managed to win this one, and I'm soon to win this one over there, which is going to free up a lot of my cavalry right now. As well as that, I did charge in another unit of my cavalry around here. If we speed up the camera just a little bit to get here, and then we can see that my cavalry is actually getting cut down in the swamp. Obviously, the swamp is not a good position for my cavalry to fight, and Indy Pride does have a unit of his axemen here to help out. So even just having the extra weight of numbers is going to be pretty important right there. We do, however, manage to slay the enemy general, which is great news for me. However, these are men of Gondor. They're pretty much all trained, so they're not going to run away fairly easily. I'm also holding off a large portion of the enemy advance right here with just spear militia, which isn't going to be holding for much longer. So I need these guys to stay alive. As you see all the bodies just laying at the bottom of the river, that is so great. That looks amazing. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this more competitive match right here. If you do enjoy this and want to see more competitive Rise of Mordor, let me know by dropping a like and a comment down below. I think the sword militia are going to be getting out of there. Their morale is going to be going and getting off the field. However, the swords are going to be standing. These guys up against my Vineland Guard, and the Vineland Guard are going to be doing work against the Gondor sword infantry. I also have all my archer fire focused on the big blob of Indy Pride soldiers right there. Hopefully they'll be doing a decent job as we continue to go down the battle line. Right here you can see that there are some Gondor sword infantry pushing onto my archers, which are going to be doing great amounts of damage. If we press K as well, we'll go and stick it on slow-mo just so we can again fully catch the full epicness of this battle. You can see that there are some more engagements down here on the right flank. There's a pretty hefty line going on. I've managed to surround the Citadel Guard. However, then Indy Pride has moved in some more of his Gondor infantry right here to kind of get around the flank and then envelop me. So the Citadel Guard are enveloped, but so are my infantry trying to envelop them. So it's kind of like a double envelopment right there. My sword infantry obviously going to be doing great against the archers though, as these guys just go in. Oh, that guy gets kicked in the nuts, and then his head is going to get sliced off. Oh, clean right there. More engagements right here. I love the kill animations. Another head getting sliced right there as the blood, and he just kicks him down. Oh, that was beautiful. So I'm doing a great job at killing these archers. They're not going to stand a chance. However, the Citadel Guard are a very sturdy infantry force, so they are going to be difficult to deal with, obviously. And some of these Ringlow men-at-arms, you know, they're not the best infantry in the world. However, they are pretty they're pretty decent. They're not like anything like the sword militia or anything like that. They can definitely do decently, and I think they are a trained infantry unit as well. So they definitely have some good stats as more Gondor infantry are pushing around my right flank right here. And they've got some Gondor spear militia or sword militia here as well, helping them out, which is, I'm not really too worried about there. I think my soldiers can definitely hold the line. Again, if we press K and take a more tactical view, you can see that I am definitely winning over on these flanks. Well, I'm not actually winning on this flank that convincingly. I do have some healthy units, but so does Indy Pride. He has some really strong units right here. And he has actually broken me in the center, which is not great. However, I believe I have managed to win a lot of these cavalry engagements, and I'm bringing all my cavalry over to help me out in this battle right now. You can see that my soldiers are now getting ready to push in. And I believe I have got this unit of cavalry right here, ready to charge down, and we are going to be ripping through this unit of swordsmen with the cavalry which have come back from fighting that long engagement, and they are just tearing. Oh my god, that was a huge impact of the cavalry right there. They just sent so many of these ringlow men-at-arms to the ground, and my spear militia are rallying to them, charging forward. That is glorious. That is awesome. Right there. I've got more of my cavalry pouring around the right flank. Again, if we press K, we can see that my general is actually engaged right now, but he does have some Lake Town Guard supporting him. I have managed to kind of almost clean up in the center, but Indy Pride is also almost cleaned up in the center, and he's going to be dispatching a unit of Gondor swords over to helping out dealing with these spear militia right here. My general, or my cavalry is going to be forming up right here, getting ready to get a perfect charge into these swordsmen. If we get another close-up right here, as we can see them just coming marching in. Even though these are a lot of my infantry, hopefully the cavalry can make it through my infantry, and that's exactly what they do. Oh, the impacts are beautiful right here as they just send these soldiers under the water as the horses just trample on them. That is great as this cavalry comes pouring in. Indy Pride does still have a unit of cavalry left though. However, I'm going to be completely annihilating this left flank, and I'm going to be wrapping around the rest of my forces to help out. My general is definitely struggled in this engagement, but with the support of the Lake Town Guard, I think that they did manage to claim victory against the Silver Swans pretty convincingly. And I think the Lake Town Guard are such a good anti-cavalry unit. They're so fast that if you can manage to tie down the enemy cavalry with some of your own cavalry, and then just bring the Lake Town Guard up to support them, the Lake Town Guard are going to get there way before anyone else does. So I think they're definitely a very, very potent unit for sure in these more competitive matches to bring. I feel like the Lake Town Guard are just so fast that you can use them to really get your spears there before the enemy cavalry engagement. The Gondor swords are going to be running for their lives, getting the hell out of there. And over here as well, we're going to see that I have actually managed to surround the Gondor infantry, and they're going to be running from the field. So this battle does look pretty good right now for the Dalian infantry. And I mean, just look at this. This is such a cool battle. There's so many hidden, amazing maps in Attila, which you don't really get to see too often. And I think this is definitely one of them. Like this fighting in the river right now, where the men are just laying on the ground, covered in the water. This is really awesome. You know, this swamp has, reminds you kind of when Frodo and Sam are going through the where they have the last alliance battle, and the swamps there. Like, it looks really, really cool. Looks really, really great along all these river crossings. So it does look pretty good for me right now. I think Indy Pride does have a few soldiers left. Yeah, it's this unit of cavalry. We'll watch the final stand of the Silver Swan, but I did manage to claim victory. We also fought another battle as well, which you can go find on his channel. So make sure to go check out Indy Pride after you've watched this battle. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. I think he does some of the best battle commentaries on YouTube for Total War, like hands down. The way he infuses lore for Warhammer into his battle commentary, I think is really, really great. So make sure to go check him out after this battle. And he will be uploading another battle we had, which is a really cool sand one, where it's like loads of sand dunes and stuff, whereas he's playing as Dale and I'm playing as Gondor. And again, it's a really, really close, interesting battle, so make sure to go check that out. And I will be uploading that battle in like a week or two's time in the future. So yeah, if you don't check it out, then you will see it on my channel. But please make sure to go check out his channel, as he does do some really, really awesome stuff. My Lake Town Guard are going to be charging in. They're so fast. I still can't get over in this battle how fast the Lake Town Guard are. They are just disgusting. They really are. The speed that they can get to battles and engagements is just crazy. So it was going to be a pick victory. As I said, it was a really close engagement for sure, and we can get to see the kills for our forces. Indy Pride deployed 4,000 men. I deployed 3,600, almost 3,700. And again, you can see the Lake Town Guards, 100 kills is not bad for just a spear unit. My infantry really did shine in this battle, each of them getting, you know, over 100 kills apart from this one unit right here, which I think got trampled by cavalry. But also the Vinland Guard as well, getting 400 kills, and then obviously my cavalry getting 340 and 200 right here. My archers again still did pretty decently considering what I used them for, so I'm pretty proud of them. And if we look at Indy Pride's infantry, some of his Gondor sword militia doing pretty good for sword militia, and then his normal infantry as well getting 200 kills, which is pretty good. His archers doing really good, and then his axemen doing pretty impressive as well. So if you enjoy this battle, please do make sure to drop a like and a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time, and fish out.